Your Honor, case number 297 on the calendar in the matter of Jisko Zarecki versus Jankowitz Wolf.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
I would like you to take that gown, please, and hold it over here, Bert. You're Miss Jisko?
I am.
You are?
Yes.
Miss Zarecki?
Yes.
This is the item that's in question. Can I see it, please? Thank you. And it's a baptismal gown that's beautifully made, very old, and it was initially, according to what I've read in the papers, made by a member of the Jisko family. Now, you married into the Jisko family.
Yes, I did.
And this baptismal gown you used back in the early 1970s for the first time. And then, this is your daughter.
Yes.
And she used it when her child was born.
Yes.
In 1993.
Yes.
So for 20 years, the gown was in your possession.
Yes,
and your daughter used it.
Yes.
And returned it to you after she used it.
Yes, ma'am, for safekeeping.
She returned it to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And you kept the gown until when?
Until Melinda had called.
This is Melinda.
This is Melinda.
Yes. Melinda called you.
To see if I had the gown.
And you wanted the gown because you had a baby or were having a baby, Melinda?
I was having a baby, yes. I called her in January.
January of 08?
Yes.
So let me understand. From 1974 until 2008.
Yes.
The gown was in your possession.
Yes.
And there was never any discussion about it.
No, there wasn't.
Is that correct?
Well, I was baptized in 1977 in the gown as well, ma'am.
Okay, but then somehow the gown was returned to the plaintiff.
She had another child that was baptized.
So it was returned to her.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you believe the gown is yours, you believe the gown is yours. That's what I'm here to judge.
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
In January of 08, when Melinda called you, what did she say to you?
She asked if I had the gown, and I said, yes, I did. And she wanted to use it. And
no, don't tell me.
Oh.
What did she say to you?
She said, she asked if I had the gown, and I said, yes, I did. And she said that she would like to use it for her upcoming birth of her child.
And you said?
And I said, yes, you can use it.
So far, is that correct?
Yes.
Good.
Then I proceeded to say that you need to return it because I've had it in my care since 1974, and I've kept very good care of it. I had actually given it to my daughter, Kimberly, because she had the first great-grandchild.
Is that you, Kimberly?
Yes, it is.
Okay. How many of your grandchildren in this gown?
3.
And how many of your children were baptized wearing the gown?
All of them 3.
Okay. So?
So I said to Melinda, I said, you need to promise that you give it back. And she promised. I asked her 3 times, and she said, yes, I promised I will give it back.
So far, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So you called and asked to borrow the gown?
No, I asked if I could have it for my son.
No, then you called to ask to borrow it because once she made you promise to give it back, she was making a loan to you of the gown to use.
At that time, I did not know that she was not supposed to have it.
Didn't make any difference. Circumstances surrounding her relinquishing possession, which she had had for almost 30 years, was that you would return the gown to her, right?
Correct.
But for those 30 years, we had no idea she had it. Nobody knew.
Doesn't make any difference. You're not here in an emotional court now. You're here in a legal court. She had possession of this gown for decades. She agreed to relinquish possession temporarily of the gown to you to use with your guarantee that it would be returned to her. You agreed. So far, we all agree on those facts. Now, tell me what happened when the gown came into your possession.
Well, I did not receive it until the day before the baptism, which was 6 months after I had asked for it.
Well, that's all right, because you didn't need it. You didn't need it, right?
Right.
You called to ask to use it for a purpose, for your child's baptism. And she agreed to let you have it for that purpose, not to let you have it before that for any other reason. Go ahead.
Okay. At the time when I got it, we had the baptism. And at the baptismal party, my mom had explained to my uncle that Gene had had it for all these years.
You mean that's your former husband?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you've been divorced for 20 years, according to you.
Which he said that he was not aware that she had had it all those years.
Who cares, whether he's aware of it or not?
And then, from what I understand, he then told Kim that we weren't going to be giving it back to them because we felt Gene was not supposed to have it, and she stormed out of the party.
Okay, listen. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to explain to me, either one of you, why you think that either one of you Well, you're certainly not entitled to it. You took it on condition that you would return it to her. That was your agreement with her. She's had it in her sole physical custody for at least 25 years. Now, you want to explain to me what legal basis you have for claiming ownership to this?
Okay. I am the daughter of Leonard and Audrey Jesko. The gown was handmade by a friend of my parents when the first child was born, Bonnie. She was born 9/25/1949. She passed away.
Just a second. That was a sibling of yours?
Yes, my older sister.
Okay, go ahead.
She passed away 8 days later due to complications with
I don't
spinal
care.
bifida.
It's not that I don't care, but it's not relevant.
Okay. Well, anyway, it was made for her.
Okay.
And then all of us children were baptized in it.
Okay.
The gown was made from my mother's wedding veil.
Okay.
And my father is very upset that Jean had it. Now, when my brother...
Just a second. How old is your father?
My father is 81.
And when did your father tell you he was upset that Jean had it?
The day of the baptism, when I told him that's who had it. And
Okay.
he was so upset. And he wants my brother Donald to have the gown because he is the oldest Jesko.
Well, he can't. Your daughter borrowed this gown from the plaintiff, whose 3 children and 3 grandchildren were all baptized with it.
But my child was baptized in it.
You
I
didn't
was
have
baptized
you
in it.
didn't have possession of it.